afternoon, everyone. How's everybody's day going? Happy Thursday. Hopefully, you're all having a good day. Hopefully, you're all having a good week. It's one day before Friday, and hopefully, you're all looking forward to it. I know I am. Game one, right? Yankees, Dodgers, World Series. It needs to get here now, right? But one more day, one more sleep, and we get Yankees, Dodgers. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Make sure you all hit that like button, hit that subscribe. Share this channel out with everyone you know. I would greatly appreciate it. Hit those heart emojis down there at the bottom. It does really help out the live stream. And if you're watching this on Twitter or X, come over to YouTube. Hit that subscribe button. I'm gonna have a special guest, Alex Cintron, in the chat here momentarily. He's gonna come on. He's gonna come on, and we're gonna talk to him. So looking forward to the conversation, and shout out to Nithin Ramachandra and his team over there at the NR Hour for making this happen. So shout out to you, Nithin. But let me say what's up to the chat real quick. Ken's in the building. What's up, Ken? Nithin is in the building. What is up? Jacob, what's going on? Jake Boss, what's going on? We got VR in the building, and let me hold that thought. I have Alex Cintron waiting in the back. If you're ready to go, man, just give me a thumbs up and I'll get you brought up. Yes, sir.
We're ready.
Yeah, let's go. Let's go. How's it going, man? Welcome to the show. Thank you for taking the time to come on and to chat with us.
Thank you guys for having me here. I'm really excited to chat with you guys and talk about baseball.
Talk baseball. We can talk about your career, your current role right now as a hitting coach for the Houston Astros. So wherever you want to begin, man. I mean, we could talk about the season, right, with the Houston Astros. What are your thoughts on the season? I know the postseason didn't exactly work out the way you all had hoped, but what do you feel like you all accomplished this season? And what's the goal for next season? What are you looking for specifically there, Alex?
Yeah, season didn't went as expected at the beginning. We started really slow offensively. A lot of injuries come out in the starting rotation. Some players that supposed to produce offensively didn't do their job, and it was a tough 2 months. Then we know. Everything came together. We start hitting, and they're pitching young guys like Ronald Blanco, Spencer Arrighetti, Hunter Brown, Fran Valdez. Just start pitching as expected, those two guys, and then some surprises like I said, Arrighetti and Blanco on them. Some other guys like Jenner Diaz, Victor Caratini have really good year coming up as a catcher, as a free agent. Help us, Jordan Altuve, Bregman starts slow, then start picking up a lot. So, it was not as expected, like I said before, and then, end up as not expected either. We're expecting to be deep in the playoff and be hopefully playing the Yankees and the ALCS. But, Detroit played us really well. They were hot for about, 2 months as well. Since August, they were one of the best teams in the American League, in the big leagues. And they played two really good games. That's why like I say, it's bad to be in the wildcard games because it's only 2 games, 2 out of 3, and someone who's hot, like what's Detroit, can beat you and take you out. It's not like you having 3 out of 5 or 4 out of 7 that you can recover. So, like I said, we are home. Not the way we want to be after 7 straight LCS, and now we have to come here and decide and watch the other teams play. And I think MLB and everybody else wants this World Series. Yankees, Dodgers, going to be excited. The best 2 teams, the best 2 markets. They were the best 2 teams. Dodgers was the best record in the National League. The Yankees was the best record in the American League. So there we go, starting tomorrow.
Yeah, indeed, man. Indeed. I'll say this about the Astros. I know the season started out very rough. It was a struggle there, and you all were trailing in the AL West. But then Seattle started slipping, and then you all started getting hot. You all eventually took over the division. I genuinely, I thought, okay, Astros are getting hot, and anytime the Astros are in the postseason, they're a scary team to play against. And, most baseball fans who know, they know, right? But what in the middle of the season, you all struggled in the beginning. What made the team hot? What got them going and eventually have them, take over the AL West and win the division? Because Seattle was way ahead, and then all of a sudden they collapsed, and then you all went in the opposite direction. What changed?
Like I said, I thought Joe Spada did a really good job staying in the same level. He never went down or never went too high when he was losing. He was always in a good attitude. And secondly, Hunter Brown and Framber Valdez got hot, like really hot. They were
Hmm.
pitching consistently, 6, 7 innings, and giving the offensive a chance to score run and come back to the game. And you run a Blanco and Spencer Already, those two guys that we're not expecting to win the rotation, because we have Verlander, we have Urquidy, Javier, and they all went down with the Tommy John surgery, Luis Garcia. So those two guys just step up in a big role, and they keep us in the game. And then the guy that's supposed to, you know, do our job start hitting really well, like the Altuve, the Bregmans, even that
Yeah,
we lost Tucker June 2nd, which was
yeah,
hard. And Jader Diaz, Jeremy Pena was, better consistently this year, which I was really happy. He was really, for me, he was really good. And some guys, Jay Meyer has some time that he was hot, even though the number doesn't look like that. So, everybody start putting, something together. But the starting rotation and start doing their job, keep it on the game. I think every time you have a good team like us, and the starting rotation can keep on the game, you got a chance to win games, and someone can come through with a big hit and win the ball game. So I think that the starting rotation was the key for us to get hot. Even like you say, Seattle start losing games.
yeah.
Texas didn't play as well either. A lot of injuries as well, and that give us an opportunity and chance to say, hey, we have a chance to go back and take over the West.
Yeah, definitely. Most definitely, man. Like I said, I think you all will be back in the hunt next season. I have no doubt about that. But I know, Alex Bregman, you brought up his name. He's going to be a free agent. I'm sure you would want him back in the Astros uniform. Have you talked with him at all, or have you talked about him coming back, or how does everybody? How are you feeling about it?
No, I haven't talked about him. Like I said, we want. I think the whole organization, the team, the fan, everybody wants Bregman. We have to understand that he's a free agent. He's a young third baseman who also can play second base because he was a former shortstop. So his market not only being third base, he can also play second base. It's big. It's gonna be big and huge. Young guy, energetic baseball guy.
Hmm.
Um, Great clubhouse leader, and he'll have a best on offer. I feel like we in some point we're probably gonna make a good offer to him. I don't know if he's gonna be able to say I'm gonna stay in Houston. I'm gonna test the market and see what I can get out there. So it's gonna be tough for him, for us to make some decisions. Um, and then as organization, what we can do is just prepare with no Bregman, and if Bregman comes back, then it's a big plus. So hopefully he can come back and help us. I think he's a key player, and in the past we had lost the George Springers,
Hmm.
Carlos Correa, and hopefully we don't lose Bregman. We retain Altuve, who's a franchise player, and he just signed a 5-year deal, so he'll retire as an Astros. And
Yep.
like Craig Big and Bauer, we hope like it could be Bregman or Altuve. So we'll see. But yeah, we definitely want Bregman, need Bregman in our team.
Yeah, well, Bregman's he's a key piece for your team, and I would assume if Bregman, let's just say we don't know what's going to happen, right? We're not at free agency yet. We have a little, we got to worry about the World Series first, but um, does the organization have some sort of plan if for some reason Bregman? Have you sat down with the organization, had some discussions about that, or not really?
Not really, and we have some young guys there like Zach DeZenzo. I think he was in the big league with us already. Wickham came out a little bit. I know he can hit. Um, we have a former first round pick, Bryce Matthew, coming up to play with me in Wooden
Hmm.
Ball on the GM in San Juan. So he's gonna come up with me and play some third base. It's a shortstop like Bregman was, and he just reached that level of AAA at the end of the year. And he's gonna play some third base just in case. So I feel like, um, you know, organization wide, we're trying to see who can fit that. Is Bregman leave, and I don't know which way we're gonna take if that happens, but hopefully it doesn't happen, and we don't need to explore that area.
Yeah, yeah, no doubt, man. It's always, because again, I know Alex Bregman. He's done a lot for the Astros, right? So I know he's been a key piece for that team. I'm curious to see what's going to happen with Bregman. I mean, free agency is always an exciting time for us fans. So because there's always news circulating, there's always the rumors going around. So us fans, we like to know what's going to happen. And when news breaks out, we talk about it, right? Do you mind if I grab a few questions from the chat? Are you okay with that?
Yeah.
Okay,
So
cool. So this question here, this is from Jacob Petruzzi. He's asking your favorite baseball team that you played for and your favorite World Series team that you coached.
well, I always have to say Arizona Diamondbacks. That's where I got drafted. That's what
Hmm.
my career started. And I put my good number in 2003. I always have to mention I was part on Randy Johnson only perfect game in Atlanta. So all those all those years was kind of excited to be out there, and also for me was happy to be around really really good players like Matt Williams, Kurt Schilling, Mark
Hmm.
Grace, Luis Gonzalez, Steve Finley, Jay Bell, Tony Womack, Reggie Sanders. So Craig Counsell, who's a manager right now. So for me, it was a really good organization, good teams, and that was my favorite team to be on it. My favorite team to coach in the World Series obviously have to be the Houston Astros as a hitting coach in 2022. For me, that was in the first one. I was a translator, so I was with the team, but was not as big part of being a hitting coach. So 2022 World Series team in the Houston Astros is my favorite coaching team.
Awesome, awesome. Yeah, so I know you started your career with the Diamondbacks, and you've kind of bounced around, and you spent the majority of your career there, and you played for a few other teams. So, what was it like, during that time playing baseball? I know it's been a long time, but what was it like for you, playing along some of those guys that you just named in Arizona? How, did they have a big impact on you as a player?
Yeah, it did. It did. And then I also forgot to mention I played a little bit because then he got hurt with my idol, my childhood idol, Robbie Alomar, 2004 in Arizona. He's a guy that I'm going to work for him right now. He's the owner of San Juan. I'm going to be the GM. So for me, drinking through being a kid and watching Robbie Alomar, in the big leagues and trying to simulate him and trying to be like, that's why I was so cheater. I was wearing number 12 and I think about Robbie. So for me, I was excited. But yeah, it's always nice to have all those superstars, the good player, good people to teach you not only the game of baseball, it's not how do you handle yourself in the clubhouse, outside the clubhouse, how you represent our organization. When you in the off season and everywhere you go, you got to remember that you represent our organization and you have to be proud and you have to be like smart about everything every move you made outside that won't hurt your career. So it's always nice to be with people like that in your career that are gonna guide you. I think Danny Bautista, who's an outfielder, helped me a lot too, um, to guide me how to have to be, a professional and respect the others and coming from Latin America, we have to, represent our countries because we're small group of players that play in the big leagues. Even you can say like that, especially Puerto Rico, and that helped me a lot to grow as a player, as a person, and helped me to become a coach because then you can understand and the players and respect organizations.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, do you miss playing baseball, or do you enjoy your job right now as a coach? Do you like coaching the players that are coming up, or the veterans, or do you would you rather be playing the game right now?
We always love to play the game. You control more things as a player, but you know the workouts, the preparation, that require, like after the off season, you see guys already start working out, getting ready for 162 games. It's kind of hard. The only part that I don't miss about playing, but I do enjoy a lot. I rather right now being a coach just because I enjoy teaching, I enjoy talking, collaborating with people, learn and help other guys get better. And as a coach, you see guy, making a lot of money and winning a championship, battle title or World Series. Then you feel proud about it. It's different. It's like you having a son. You know, you having a son, and you see your son, and you teach your son how to become a great human being, or playing any game, or go to school and graduation. It's kind of the same thing as a coach.
Yeah, well, being a coach is rewarding because you have players that come up in the organization, or if the organization signs a player, or a player gets traded, you get to coach them. You lead the way. They're looking for your guidance. Um,
Exactly.
yeah, so and that's got to be an amazing feeling for you. So because you feel like you're doing something right, and you need to lead, right? You need to lead
Yeah.
by example.
And when you have opportunity to, like you said before, like coach young player, but then coach superstar, future Hall of Famers, and guy who are elite hitters, elite players in the league, and it's different too because you had the chance to do both. Help other people get better and grow up, and develop those guys, and other guys that help them out to accomplish, going to the Hall of Fame or accomplish a great career that they can be MVPs and make a lot of money. So yeah, it's rewarding. It's really nice.
Yeah, how do you feel about the sport of baseball today? Because when you were playing the game, it was so much different. Right now, and I ask this question to everybody, former player, current coaches, doesn't matter, right? How do you feel how the game has evolved? There's been a lot of changes with the rules. There's a lot more analytics being involved. How much analytics do you use with the players, and how do you feel about how the game is now compared to when you were coming up?
Yeah, I think it's more information. The thing is, like you say, it's more analytics, more numbers. We didn't have that. I think we were more about feel and watching the game more,
Mhm.
which is it's good at watching the game because you learn it, and feel like you have to depend a lot of computers or other people. But I understand they have changed and accept those changes. I think it's really good for the game, and I use the analytics, I use the numbers. It works. It helps a lot. It's a good information that they give you, and then you can combine it and use the analytics and the numbers, and then the baseball side as well, and do a good combination and create a balance of the analytics and the number with the baseball side. That's when it becomes really, really good. I think you cannot go one way or the other 100%. I feel like you have to blend it and collaborate together with the analytics people and the baseball part and everyone. So yeah, I accept it. I really, even that had changed and other people don't like it. I do enjoy it because I can learning, and every year is something new, something different. You start, like OPS. When the OPS came out, it's like people don't know. We always care about slugging or uh, OBP, but it's the same. You combine those two numbers and create OPS, which is make a lot of sense. You have to get on base, and then you have to slot, you have to hit homers, double, triple, and all of that, and they start creating more and more numbers. So which is benefit for the player, for the game, and like I said, to keep learning. So for me, I'm good with him, and we have to accept that it's not in the 80s, 90s, or early 2000. Everything had changed, and pitchers are throwing hard. It's harder to hit, and it's gonna keep doing that. I think every year it's gonna keep changing.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, look, analytics I think is a good tool to have, but I think from my understandings from some of the arguments is that there's too many numbers, there's too much information in players' heads, and it could make the players overthink.
That's
So
yeah, and that's what I'm saying. You have to combine it, and you have to
right.
combine it both. You have to create a balance. And that's why the
Hmm.
balance is the most important. You can, like I said, you cannot go one way analytic 100%, one way the old school baseball, because you're not gonna it's not gonna help anything. It's like, and recognize who the player is and how you're gonna deliver the message to those players, and you have to be smart about
Yeah.
delivering the message that they give you and how you're gonna do it for guy like Oswald, for example, and you combine a young guy like Jeremy Pena. It's a young guy coming out. Altuve is a veteran guy, so you have to understand how you're gonna deliver those two messages to different person, but using the numbers and using the baseball side as well to create a great balance.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that was my, biggest thing, because everybody I've talked to, it's about finding balance. You have to, you're going to have the analytics. Analytics is here to stay. It's not going anywhere. People are going to look at numbers, but you have to, you also have to get a feel for the game, because you have to put eyes on the game too.
Hmm.
And that's something that is also never going away. But like you said, you have to have that healthy balance between the two in order to be successful. So yeah, no, completely understand that. Let me grab another question here from the chat here for you there, Alex. But this is from the 411 on NY Sports. He is asking similar question to the first one, asking Alex, what was your most memorable game personally in your career, player and coach?
Well,
So
yeah, as a player, like I said before, perfect game, Randy Johnson, 2004. I
yeah,
made a great play from him. I went 3-4-4 against Mike Hunter in that game. So that was my most memorable game. Um, as a coach, Jordan Alvarez home run against Alvarado, Philadelphia Phillies in Game 6 to give us the
hmm,
lead, and we end up winning the World Series. So as a coach,
yeah,
that's a great moment, because that was a day that Jordan and I in the cage before that game. We have a big discussion about his mechanics, his approach, and everything, and we end up having a great swing, a great game in that day. So as a coach, that was a great memorable day for me overall.
okay, okay. Let me grab one more here, and then we'll continue the conversation. There, a few people are asking questions, so it's pretty cool. So this is from Ken. He's saying, Mr. Cintron, what do you think about Tony Perez Chica joining the Astros coaching staff from the Diamondback staff? How do you think he'll contribute to the Astros?
Yeah, I feel like we used to have a great third base coach in Gary Pettis. I think he did it for 10 years with us. Amazing memories and great coach. And you know, unfortunately, they didn't renew his contract. I had no control of that. And Tony Chica, I know him a little bit from Arizona. Um, what I hear is a great coaching guys, and he connect with the players. Also, is really good with the base running and the defense. I think he'll help a lot of base running for our team, and gonna try to improve, to keep better in our defense. So he's gonna be a great addition. We're excited to have him in Houston, and looking forward to start working with Tony in 2025.
Yeah. So yeah, it sounds like you're excited for Perez Chica to join the Astros coaching staff. Sounds like he's going to be a big contributor for you guys. So
Yeah.
he's going to really help you guys out. Um, you know, you what is your after how many years do you have with the Astros right now as a coach? I should have checked, but
Yeah, I just finished my eighth season, going to the ninth in 2025. Um, it's my last year on my contract, and I enjoy every part. Like I say, 17 translator, the a little bit quality control coach, 18 first base coach, and then 19 through now and the hitting coach. So I have enjoyed all seasons. They're all different players, superstars. Forward series. We had 1-2. It was 7 straight ALCS, 8 straight postseasons appearance. So it's been a really really good ride in Houston so far.
yeah, you all have you got a good resume for sure. Houston has a good resume. You've got a good resume with them. Um, do you want to continue being the hitting coach for the Astros, or is there something else that you want to do besides being a hitting coach? What do you any goals in mind?
Well, as for now, in the big leagues, I continue to be a hitting coach unless something else happen. But I'm not focusing on that. Outside of MLB, like right now, I'm doing. I was the bench coach for Team Puerto Rico in the World Baseball Classic.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Yeah.
I'm gonna be a bench coach in the upcoming Premier Baseball. They're gonna be playing in something gonna be in Mexico, something gonna be in Taiwan. It's starting November the 9th in this year within Puerto Rico, and then I'm a GM. I was assistant GM last year with Cagua, who won the championship in the Puerto Rican Winter League, and now I'm gonna be the GM for Senadores San Juan, who won by Robbie Alomar in the Winter League in Puerto Rico. So I'm doing different other things for my career outside of the MLB, but as for now, I'm just continue to focus in my just a hitting coach. And like I say, if something else happen, then I will address it at the moment.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. So you mentioned Roberto Alomar. He must have been your favorite player growing up. So then were you growing up as a kid in Puerto Rico? Were you then a big fan of the Orioles or it used to be the Indians, now the Guardians? Were you a fan of either one of those teams, or did you follow Roberto Alomar wherever he played?
Yeah, I followed Robbie since he was with the Toronto Blue Jays, and
Ah,
then
yeah.
and then the other teams like you mentioned. I know he was with Baltimore Orioles, the Guardians, and the Mets. Everywhere Robbie were, I was a big fan that he played with me in in Arizona, and then that was the end of the career. Played a little bit with the White Sox, and that was it. Yeah, but I was a big fan of Robbie. Being a former, I was a former shortstop, second base. Like he was a second baseman, so he was somebody to follow. So him and Carlos Baerga, I used to follow them a lot.
Uh-huh.
Uh, so I had the chance to be managed in Puerto Rico by his dad, Santos Alomar, and I had the chance to play with Sandy Alomar in Chicago White Sox, and I had a chance to practice with Robbie when I was in A ball and he was in the big league already with the Blue Jays. Santos used to take me with him to take ground balls and hit with him in his hometown, Salinas, Puerto Rico. So yeah, big fan of Robbie, and I'm glad that we're gonna work together. He's an owner, I was a GM, so I'm excited to go to Puerto Rico and start working along with him.
Yeah. So you and Robbie then talk often, or do you guys talk a lot, or you guys talk often
Yeah,
during the
we did
season?
start. We start creating more relation when we playing on four, and he was giving me some good advice and helping me in my career. And then yeah, we always stay in contact, and I always respect him. And when this opportunity came out, I reach out, I tell him like I was available if he needs help, and then it came out that they call and say, yeah, okay, let's put together to be a GM in my team, and yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah, I mean, Roberto Alomar was a good player, no doubt. I mean, he was a great second baseman. He was great at the plate. So, I remember watching him. I was a kid when he was playing the game. So, watching him, he was definitely a lot of fun to watch. He had a lot of good energy on the team too. Wherever he played, it didn't matter. Blue Jays, the Guardians, Orioles. When he played for the Mets, he always had good energy. Um, but question for you, when you were coming up and you started playing baseball, how difficult was the process for you coming up, to make it to the major leagues? Was it a tough road for you, would you say, or was it pretty easy? What was some of the challenges that you had when you were
No,
coming up?
no, it was really tough. Just I was a 36 rounder draft by the Diamondbacks. One thing was like that was 97, and they just came out as a expansion
Yeah.
team. So when I was there, it was only like two rookie balls and two able teams. The other players that we had were playing for the Tulsa Rangers organization, the AA levels. Yeah, but it was kind of tough coming out, and we don't know what to expect. 36 rounder, and have to go through all the minor leagues process and systems. And um, Arizona was really hot, and I was not used to that. The
Yeah.
heat, the summer we got drafted, and then moving up to different areas, and not having that economical support, having that kind of money to live, and the minor leagues at that time it was tough. It was not money, we don't pay, we don't get our money to get paid, and the food is kind of a sandwich and some chips or cookie and go play. It was kind of rough compared how it is right now. But in the baseball side, I had people help me a lot, and Joy Cora, Alex Cora, my best friend, is somebody that I really admire a lot. Like I follow him, his career. You know, he's my boy. Helped me a lot as a baseball player, and Joy Cora as well, to try to help me out to become a better player. Um, so have some people that help me out. Have some other guy who helped me with my in the minor league system, like Edwin Gomez, because like I said, I was rough, not having that kind of support, having no money as a family, and going out there, it was kind of tough for me. But always with a good goal in my head to reach to the big leagues and trying to work hard. I feel like when you don't have that, you come from a poor family, you
Yeah.
always dream bigger, and you want that goal to become real as soon as you can. Sometimes you have everything easier in life, never comes, it never come more. You never realize your dreams. I think you gotta fight more when you had that desire um, to be in the big league and to have a personal goal to reach it to the MLB. So that's what happened with me.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure, you brought up growing up, a little rough, right? Or growing up poor, having to overcome all that adversity. I always admire that in a lot of athletes because it's like, there's a lot of athletes that came from nothing, but they turned their lives and their careers into something. What do you think, when you were coming up, when you were playing the game and you were trying to get into the major leagues? I know you said you got drafted by the Diamondbacks, right? But what do you think about you? What is it that stood out? What do you think stood out about yourself to like the scouts? What do you think was the biggest thing? What made you? What do you think you stood out the most compared to the other guys that were trying to get after the same thing that you were?
I feel like being 6'2", being tall, skinny, shortstop, can hit both sides of the plate and can have great defense and be athletic and move you know lateral and make some plays. I think they cut out their eyes and say, this kid have potential to when he get older, build up his body and be stronger and probably, you know, hit for power. And if he doesn't be a shortstop, then he can be a third baseman because he's
Oh, lost Alex there momentarily. I don't know if his camera went off or if there's an internet connection, but we'll wait a few seconds. We'll give him a second. But while we're waiting, folks, I hope you all are enjoying the chat. And real quick, shout out to VR for the $2 super chat. You're the man, bro. Thank you so much, and I appreciate the kind words. What's up, Ray? How's it going? But thank you, VR, for the $2 super chat. Greatly appreciated. And I think Alex is trying to come back on. But we'll give him a couple of minutes. We'll give him a couple of minutes. But Alex, there you are. Okay, I think we might have. You're good. Okay. Oh, hold on. Sorry about the. Hold on. Let me here. I'll get you. You good, Alex? Uh, can you hear? Can you hear me? You might have to close out because I can't hear you. You might have to close out the browser and come back. So we'll give Alex a second here. We'll give Alex a second here. So sometimes technical difficulties do happen, but it's part of life, I suppose. But what's hopefully everybody is again enjoying the interview. So let's try Alex one more time. Alex, I can't hear you, bud. You might have to close the whole browser and then come back. So, technical difficulties, but yeah, again, I hope you guys are all enjoying the guys and gals are all enjoying the chat, the interviews. So, good stuff though. I mean, it's cool. It's cool. Hold on. Hold on. Let's try this.
You got it?
We got it now. We're good.
Sorry. So yeah,
That's okay.
what was the last part I was saying about being tall, 6'3"?
So you were saying, yeah, because I asked like what stood out about, what was it about you that stood out to the scouts? And you said that, you were 6'2", 6'3". I think you mentioned something about you could play like different positions.
Yeah, I was a shortstop, being so tall and switch hitter. I think that was the difference. I thought that they could say this guy, could be a shortstop, but if not, when he get older and stronger, he can move to third base. So I feel like projections wise, they like my projections, and I think that was the difference between me and other guys going out there. Also, like I said, playing wooden ball when I was in A ball helped me a lot to learn the game. Guys really like Alomar and Cora and those guys teach me a lot. Santos Alomar Senior, and when I was in A ball, I got more advanced in the baseball side mentally than others. That not being a prospect and being a 36 rounder helped me to have a great years in high A at age of 19 years old. And then when I was in double, I was 20 years old. I become number one prospect in the organization, and then reached out 2001 the big leagues. Soon I was like 22 years old when that happened. So I think all of that caught attention of the scout, that caught attention of the organization, and playing, like I say, that's why I always say thank you, Winter Ball, and all those people that were out there helping me out day in, day out to mature as a ball player and help me to reach my goal to be in the big leagues.
Yeah, awesome, good stuff, man. Yeah, I always like to know, man, because there's so many players that are trying to get to the major league level, and I know it's hard, right? There's so many players competing for the same thing, and I know scouts. Every scout can be a little different because every scout is looking for, they're all looking for something different, whatever their criteria is. But I'm glad it worked out for in your career, and I'm glad things are working out for you as a coach. So it looks like things have really worked out for you so far in your life, and it seems like you're very happy with how things are going so far.
Yeah, I cannot be more happy. I didn't expect to reach all of this that's at this level. Like I say, going with the Astros, sometimes some people have to go through the process of going to the minor league system and become a coach or have someone to take you over there. For me, I was lucky enough to get hired as a translator living in Houston. The thing is, like, I don't live in Houston because the Astro was living in here because my daughter and my first marriage, it was in Houston. So I was living in
Hmm.
here, had the chance to be at home, work for the Astros, and had really success in the past 8 years, being those World Series. So I feel like I'm blessed. I'm really happy with how my career has turned around after I played in the big league for 9 seasons.
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt. No, that's amazing. That's amazing. Let me grab a couple more questions here. This is a kind of like a two-part question here, Alex. So 161 River Ave is asking you, how would you address first base this offseason? Would it be a trade or free agency? Then he's asking, do you think the Astros plan at first base would be based on Bregman's situation first?
Well, like that's a good question. The thing is, like, we still have, like I said, Zach DeZenzo who can play first. We got Singleton, but it's always the trade market at first base is not that big. Like, you think
Right.
about it, it's not many first basemen as well as third baseman. Some of those guys who are first basemen, they either on contract or guys like Pete Alonso that are gonna cost you a lot of money, and you have to make decisions about, who rather you have, Pete Alonso or Bregman, for example. But yeah, I think the free agency, you can explore different ways and different names, like the Christian Walker. You want to go maybe 3 4 years, you want to go short, maybe 1 year deal with Santana, Paul Goldschmidt, and take that road. But I feel like, you know, Alex Bregman situation is going to be important for us first. I think I think as organization, that's the first thing they have to try to address before we're thinking about first base. Like I say, we spend the money and bring Bregman. I don't know, I'm not that GM or the owner. I don't know how much money we
Right,
have,
right.
but you can probably internal fill the first base situation with the Zenzo Singleton having Bregman. Now is Bregman departs. Now you still have the Zenzo who can play first and third, and you can probably explore a bigger name like Christian Walker to become the first baseman and help at least that middle of the lineup right-handed power that and is Bregman departs. So it's a lot of different ways to look at him, but I feel like Bregman's situation has to be the first thing to address and see how that play out and move forward after that.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, Bregman is going to be. I would imagine it's going to be priority number one for the organization to try and get him back. I'd be interested to see what happens. And in terms of first baseman, I know you brought up Christian Walker. He'd be a good addition for you guys. Would you want a guy like Pete Alonso on the team? Is that somebody you would personally would want?
Everybody wants to have Pete Alonso. He's gonna bring you at least 30 homers at
Yeah.
least, and middle of the lineup, you can imagine and dream having like that Tuve, Tucker, Jordan, Pete Alonso. I think that's a pretty tough four hitters. Um,
Yeah.
to have. So as a hitting coach, as a dream, yeah, obviously I want Pete Alonso and Alex Bregman as a hitting coach. Having those five guys in the lineup will help definitely your coach to be more relaxed. Those guys producing every day. Yeah, yeah, I think Pete Alonso is going to be a great addition with anyone he's signed with.
Yeah, Alonso is he's gonna be a big name in free agency, and I know first base will be it'll be a need for some teams for sure. So
Mhm.
we'll see. We'll see what happens. I know the Mets. I'm sure. I don't know if the Mets will sign him back, but they might try. But he's definitely gonna demand a lot of money. That
Yeah, a lot of
that's
years
for
too.
sure. That's
Mhm.
for sure. Um, for you as a hitting coach, like because every hitting coach has a different philosophy on how to approach the game. I know we talked a little bit about analytics, but what's your biggest thing as a hitting coach? Like, what do you want players? What are you trying to get the most out of your players? Are you having them trying to hit the ball hard? Is it more important for them to hit the home runs, get on base? Like, what's important for you?
I think two things first. We focus in the guys, make sure they're in a good position to hit to start. Like where your hands are your lower half when you stand to the play. And secondly, approach. I feel like approach is really important. But for me, it's about make contact because I think it's like people is throwing average 94.6 fastballs, right? Now everything is power. And you had a power sinker with a forcing fastballs, with a
Mhm.
slider, with a sweeper, with a cutter. So pitchers become tough and everyone throw hard. And so I feel like you can control the zone and make contact. And you're gonna give your team always a chance to be in the game. When you face a hard pitching or a hard rotation, you strike out a lot. You don't get anything unless you're making contact. You put pressure to the defense, and you can have some base hit, find a hole here and there. So I think contact is really important. Also, you try to control the zone, just to try to make contact, controlling the zone.
Yeah. Do you ever find that your players don't some if are there times where they don't follow through with the game plan? And I'm sure if they don't follow through, you I don't know if you ever yell at them or scream at them, but you get frustrated as a coach because there's got to be things that you want them to do and they're not following through on the game plan.
Oh, definitely, they do that, and I understand it because I play. And sometimes you can talk to them and create a good plan, but they go on their own, and maybe they felt different in that day, or they want to accomplish something different. But the good thing about it is like I get frustrated, but I don't yell or get mad. But one thing that I like about our players is when I ask him the next day, they give me feedback and they say, today I just trying to hit homer. Sorry. I get out of the plan because I was trying to go deep. That was all I had in my head, go deep. So they were trying to pull the ball. They see that Crawford box is so close, and they say, okay, today I'm gonna take a chance. So try to hit the ball out of the ballpark in every at bat, and it's something that you can do nothing about it. You can control it. You can try to get on top of them and giving a good plan, but they don't want to follow that day. Then the results help because sometimes they went off for four with 4 ground ball or striking out because they're trying to pull everything and they're chasing away the sliders. And then you talk to them and tell them, hey, you're trying to hit homer. This is what happened. I feel like if you don't try to hit homer, you try to hit a line right to the middle, that would create a home run in the pitch. And they understand that and they go back to the approach. But it's 162 games, and it's hard for everybody to follow a plan 162 games. You're trying to be that as most consistent as you can as a hitting coach to accomplish that, um, and that's all you can control. Just prepare then, and you will prepare for any questions and be ready every day.
Yeah, well, 162 games. It's a long season. It's a long season. I
Not
mean, I
not counting spring training.
oh yeah, this is true. Not counting spring training. So if you count spring training, it's really closer to 180, right?
Well,
So
yeah,
yeah, you do have a point. So yeah, if you include spring training, it's 100. It's 180 games. That's still a lot of games. I don't know what it's like for you as a coach, but for me as a fan, this season in particular, I can't speak for all the other fans, but for me, I feel like 100. Even though yes, 180 games if you include spring training, it's a lot of games. It's a long season. It's a long year. But for me, I feel like as a from my personal point of view, like I feel like the season has went by so fast
it did.
because when the end of the season came, I was like, whoa, the season's already over. Like the regular season is already over, and here we are, postseason, and now we're in the World Series. So it seems like it seems like it flew by so fast. I don't know if that's how it is for you as a coach, or is it a long one for you?
Yeah, it's a long one, but it just depends how your team play and everything contribute because like first 2 months it was a long season for us the
Yeah.
way we were playing. Then it went normal, and then at the end it was fast. And like, oh my God, season is it's over. And right now it's getting longer because we have to wait 4 or 5 days to watch a World Series after everybody clinched so fast. Um, so now finally tomorrow is baseball again. Uh, so it haven't finished yet. So yeah, it went fast in a moment, but the first 2 months was kind of slow. But yeah, it's a lot of games, and like I say, everybody sometimes they get tired mentally. They get tired to see you and hear your voice for 8 months, and you have to be, you have to create a different way to give them the message, to send the message. If either we identify a player that they
Alex, I don't know if it's your mic kind of went. Oh, I think we're good now.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
But what were you? Sorry, what were
yeah.
you saying?
So
You kind of cut off a little bit.
I say it's so hard to be 8 months with some players, um, and they sometimes they don't want to listen to you because they're like they listen the same things over and over, and you sometimes have to identify a player that they're really good relation with them in the team that can deliver the message. Like you can say, okay, Jenner Diaz, just tell this to Jeremy Pena, and come on, he's your boy. I think he needs to do this and that, and send the message. And instead of coming, yeah, it's coming from me, but not directly, the player goes, say, hey, Jeremy, I think you need to start hitting the ball to right field, or you need to do this and that. And it's different message. So, you have to be really, really smart to create a different way to deliver the message in a long season.
Yeah, well, and I'm sure with the players, every player is different, right? Especially their personalities, and you have
Mhm.
to get used to their personalities. And I can't, I know none of those guys are the same. So everybody deals with the game differently. They deal with the coaches differently. So, there's different personalities, different attitudes. So I can only imagine the stress that goes into dealing with some of that. So, 162 games, man, and you got to hear like you said, the same voices, deal with the same people. After a while, I'm sure sometimes that frustration does build up,
Yeah.
and I get it. I do understand. So, before we continue, I know we're almost at about an hour. How are you doing on time? I just want to be respectful of your time.
Nine more minutes.
9 more minutes. Done. Okay. Cool. Perfect. Like I said, I just want to be respectful of your time. So, what are your thoughts on the World Series? I know it's Yankees Dodgers. It's going to be a big one, right? Two of the best teams in baseball. What are your thoughts going into the World Series? Like looking at it from either as a coach or as a fan. I mean, I wanted to get your thoughts on it.
It's gonna be a tough one. I felt like they're both teams really good. They're really balanced. Starting pitching kind of same. You put in the perspective, and offensively they're really good. They're really deep. Bullpen kind of similar as well. Two veteran managers. They're already been with those teams for a lot of years. Um, it's gonna be exciting watching Josh, Soto, Mookie Betts, Freeman, Otani, Stanton having a good postseason so far. Um, Two of the more excited fans base in the game, two big markets. It's gonna be exciting. I think it's gonna be a good World Series. It's gonna be fun to watch, and as a fan, you cannot go unless you're a Yankee Dodger fan, but you're outside of that. You don't know who's gonna choose to win because it's gonna be a really really good game that I think it's gonna be ended up by whoever gets the 27 out. It's not say, oh, this series is gonna be the Yankees or it's gonna be the Dodgers. No, it's gonna be a tough one, and you know we should
Yeah.
both think the best.
Well, I feel like Major League Baseball got what they wanted. I think they truly wanted this World Series to happen. They want it because for Major League Baseball, it's exciting for them because they know they're going to get a lot of viewers. The ratings are going to be they know the ratings are going to be through the roof. So you can imagine the fans not only in this country but around the world. In Japan and Puerto Rico, Dominican Republic, like the Latino countries too, they're all going to be tuning in as well. So because there's just big names on both of these teams, and I just wanted to get your thoughts on that too, right? Like just from from a coach or as a fan of the sport. It's definitely gonna be a good series. It's hard to say who the clear favorite is. I feel like both teams are they're matched up pretty good, I would say. There's no denying like the Dodgers lineup is scary, but so
Yeah,
is the Yankees.
I feel like I always think when you play tough teams and a World Series like this, starting pitching is gonna be the key. How deep the starting pitcher can go, um, because that means that the pitcher is gonna have to stop that offensive team, and they're both really good offensive team. They're really good two ballparks to hit. No, you go to the right field in Yankee Stadium, it's gonna be a homer easy, and the Dodgers, the ball flies everywhere. Probably gonna be two different weather conditions. New York is gonna be
Hmm.
cold. LA is gonna be nice. It's probably gonna be 70s, 80s.
Oh
Gonna be
yeah.
nice. Different. One thing that can hurt some other people don't know is the time. It's 3 hours behind LA, 3 hours behind New York. The sleeping for the player, the rest. You know, um, the leg jack, like we call that, for the times that can affect that can be affect for some players, um, because the time frames is kind of like differently. But like I said, pitching is gonna be the key. Starting pitching for me, is starting pitching can control the opposition. That's the thing that's gonna be winning.
Yeah, pitching is always important in the postseason, as you know. So the team with the best pitching usually, right? They end up winning the whole thing. So Before we let you go, any plans in the off season? I know you're going to be managing.
Bench coach.
In bench coach, yeah, you'll be bench coach. Sorry, you'll be bench coaching. Any other plans in the off season before you have to report again?
No, just bench coach in the Premier 12, representing Puerto Rico now in November, and then GM San Juan. Enjoy that. Enjoy my Iceland, and just get ready and prepare for 2025. I feel like you know, we don't like to be at home sitting watching other people, other teams.
Yeah.
We want to be there. So we have to be ready for that for next year.
Awesome. Well, Alex, thank you for coming on and taking the time out of your day to chat with us. It was a pleasure talking to you, man. I was excited to talk to you. Definitely learned a lot from you. So, but I do hope things work out for you as a bench coach, and then hopefully 2025 is a better year for you. So, but yeah, good luck to you and the rest of your career. Hopefully things work out the way you want it to work out, sir.
Thank you for having me. It was a pleasure to talk a little bit about baseball, and this is that time for us that is we can talk about baseball and a lot of other things, and I'm really excited. So good luck as well.
Thank you so much. Yeah, no, my pleasure, and thank you for coming on. And we'll love to have you on again in the future.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
All right, thank you, sir. Have a good day.
Thank you too.
Thanks. All right, folks. Well, that was Alex Cintron. Hopefully, you all enjoyed the conversation. I know I did. I've said it many times. I love getting former players on or current players, coaches, and talking with them and getting a feel for who they are and how they feel about the game of baseball. Hopefully you all enjoyed the interview. I would love to have him back on again. I know I enjoyed it. So it's been a while since I actually interviewed a former player or a coach. Recently I had Howie Carpin on here a few weeks ago and talked to him. He's an MLB scorer, but he's a lifelong Yankees fan. But it was cool to have Alex Cintron on here. So shout out to Alex Cintron. Shout out to Nithin Ramachandra. I don't know if he's still in the chat, but shout out to you, Nithin, for you and your team setting this up. You and your team are constantly just working your tails off, trying to get these these interviews set up. I know you all do a lot of meet and greets with players, so appreciate all the work that you guys do. You guys are constantly just working around the clock, so thank you all. But thank you to everybody who did tune in. I hope you all got something out of it. Hopefully you learned something. I hope you all enjoyed the interview. I have fun doing these interviews, and real quick, shout out to Mike Lopez. He says the Mexican community will tune into Los Angeles. Yeah, absolutely, man. Absolutely. Definitely. I know you're a big Dodgers fan, and I respect that. So it is it's always nice to talk baseball. You know what I mean? So I know for Alex Cintron, he'd rather be in the World Series. I'm sure. I know as a coach, he wouldn't want to be sitting at home watching other teams play. He'd rather have his team out there playing. But it is what it is, right? So hopefully he still gets excited watching two teams play. I know he'd rather have the Astros in there, obviously, but let's see how he does. And I wish Alex the best, whatever he does as a coach, or if he becomes a manager one day, that would be great to have him. So, what are we saying here, VR? He's saying good stuff. Thank you, man. Alex was a great guest. Rooting for him to move up the ladder and be a manager one day. That would be awesome, man. I think he can be a good manager just from talking with him. I think he could be at that type of level, but of course, being a manager is not easy. I mean, he just told you as a hitting coach that, it's not always easy. You're talking, if you include spring training, it's 100, 180 games. So, you can only imagine what these players and coaches have to deal with, and it's not easy, right? It's not easy. But I am going to wrap it up here, though, folks. So thank you all for coming on. All right, thank you all for coming on. I do appreciate it. Your support does mean the world to me. And again, VR, thank you for the super chat. You're the man, bro, for that. So I will be back tomorrow for the pregame, and I should have Ace on the show. And I am looking forward to tomorrow. Tomorrow can't get here soon enough. Game 1 of the World Series, folks. Game 1 of the World Series. Los Angeles Dodgers, New York Yankees. I can't wait. It's going to be an epic World Series. And I wanted to read Mike's comment here. He says, on a positive note, the World Series, it's huge for the youth in Los Angeles. This would build generational fan base and keep kids off the streets. Mike, you have spoken facts there, my friend. I totally agree with you here, especially with keeping kids off the streets. That's very important to keep kids off the streets. And hopefully this does build a generational fan base. Hopefully for the kids that are growing up, it does inspire them in some way, shape, or form, either to play the sport or just to do well in life or become baseball players, man. Let's hope this brings them a positive experience. Baseball fans are the good ones, right? The good ones are great. I've definitely have met a lot of great people ever since I became a content creator. So through the subscribers and other content creators. So, there's good people out there, and I'm glad I met a lot of you. And I hope to meet more of you. And if you're watching this for the first time, I hope you hit that subscribe button and join in and help me grow this channel out, because I really enjoy being a content creator and meeting other content creators, meeting new people, talking baseball, talking Yankees, and interviewing and doing interviews. So it's always a good time. But folks, I am going to close it out. Thank you all for coming on. What up, Daniel Berry? But thank you all for coming on. I will see you all tomorrow for game 1 of the pregame, World Series pregame, Dodgers, Yankees. I can't wait. But I'll see you all later. Enjoy the rest of your day, and let's go Yankees.